Did you always had the dream that you can look around the cockpit like this without using any controller, but simply moving your head and your eyes? And that without any additional hardware, well, besides the webcam? Then I've got some good news for you. In this video, we're gonna look at software which simply allows you to use your head and your eyes to look around in the cabin, but also, of course, outside the cabin. But first, let's roll the intro. So the first thing, of course, you need to do is get the software. The bad news is there's no trial version. However, you can buy the software and you can get your money back if it doesn't work correctly. At least that's what they state over here, right? 14-day money back guarantee. And with Steam, you can use the 3-hour free trial with full features. The other good news is that it's currently almost Black Friday, right? So while recording this video, it's the 22nd of November and we still have 16 days left and you can get it against a reduced price. Now, what's that reduced price? Well, let's have a look at it. Here you can see it's now available for $22.49. A normal price is roughly $30. 14-day money back guarantee, and it works with hundreds of games. There's no extra hardware required and there are other benefits which you can get. A nice thing, and I would say it's almost a no-brainer because it isn't that expensive, right? So hey, but of course the decision is up to you. So once you bought software, there are a few important things which you need to do because you need to get some software. And the easiest way to do that is you can go to the setup guide because there are links. And the first software you need to get is, of course, Get Beam, which is the Beam eye tracker software. But the other software which you need is the opentrack PC software. I've put links in the description of this video so you can easily download them. And I will now show you simply how to install it because, to be honest, I found it very easy to do. So the first thing we're going to do is, of course, install the Beam eye tracker because that's the software which we need. You can simply hit next and then say accept it. Then make sure that you hit install. It will require you to say provide the confirmation. And then once that's installed, you can of course hit this button, which will directly launch the software. Now, before you can launch the software, you need to log in. So let's see if that still works because I kind of removed the software. Yes, here it is. It says, hey, you need to log in. I'm going to pause this video because of course I don't want you to see my login information. And then once logged in, we can continue. Once you're logged in, you will be, let's say, getting a privacy notice, right? Your webcam will be used for real-time eye tracking, processing local to protect your privacy. Well, that's nice. I can set a check mark here if I don't want to see this message. But I also can click it away and then it goes away. You can currently see me, right? So here I am. You never saw me, but this is how I look at. And you see I also love playing Lego. So what you need to do is you need to make sure that you're selecting the correct camera, right? In my case, the live cam, and then I can simply hit next. However, there's also an option where you can say, hey, I want to have a shared access, which allows other applications to also use the webcam. Besides this, you can change your resolution, but I will keep it as is, and I will simply click next. The next question it will ask you is, okay, where is the camera placed? In my case, it's placed on the top. So I'm going to select the top and then hit next. Then the other question is, okay, hey, how do you want to tilt the camera, right? Does it need to tilt down or tilt up? In my case, I want to tilt it down and then hit next again. And then it will start following my eyes, right? This is where the calibration part starts. So you need to read the instructions carefully and then hit start, and then it will simply guide you to it, right? So in my case, I will look at the screen currently and I click with the mouse. And now I will move to the top left, top right, bottom right, and bottom left. And then you're done. This is the only thing which you need to do. Really easy, wasn't it? Here it gives you a few tips, right? It says, okay, hey, turn on one of the features and hold Alt-C to have calibration point appear in the center of your screen. Release while looking at the point for a quick recalibration. But I'm going to show you a different way on how to do that. So we're going to press done. It will show like this. And what you need to do is make sure that you enable the gaming extensions. It will bring you back to this window. So it says, okay, hey, let's get started activating it. You can kind of would say, click this window away, because that's the only thing which you need to do. There's nothing further you need to do. And you can see it still is running. Now you've done this, you need to install the opentrack software. The opentrack software is important because if you don't have it, it will not work. opentrack is, as far as I know, open source software, so let's get ahead. You can download it via the link which I have already mentioned in the description of the video, and you can launch opentrack. So once you've launched opentrack, there's one important thing, because if you used this software previously, then you might need to change some things because they are recommending you to create a new profile. And the reason for that is that you're then 100% sure that it will not use the software or the, I would say, other tools which you have. The other thing which you need to know is that it doesn't open always. So then go to the bottom and then open it. What you need to do in this case is you need to go to options and make sure you can hit the bind option and hit the center one. The reason for this is that you sometimes want to center the display. I will show that in a few seconds when we're jumping to Flight Simulator. And I also had some issues initially, and when pressing the Alt N, it simply centers and then it works. Other things, you don't need to change anything here besides setting this one to the eyewear beam. If you set it to this, and then you can hit the start button, and then you can of course jump to Flight Simulator. So let's do that. So we're in Flight Simulator 2024 and I'm moving my head, right? I can move, I would say, backward, I can move forward, and that's why you also hear the difference in volume for the microphone. And there's one important thing which you of course need to do, and that's before you're getting started, is pressing the Alt and the N key, which is the key which we did set up for, I'd say, making sure that we're calibrating correctly. If you don't do that, I also face that, you will, I would say, see weird issues happening. So let's go inside the cockpit, because then we can likely see how it works better. And you can see that I can move my head, right? I can move my head, I can move closer, I can move further away. And it also allows me to look downwards. And that's why you also hear the weird microphone. Hopefully it will pick up the sound correctly. But this really makes, I would say, life easy. And the nice thing, of course, about this software is that you don't require specific hardware, right? If you have a normal webcam, it will simply work. I'm using, I would say, an old, Microsoft webcam. I think is the 720p cam, the cinema webcam, and it works perfectly. And you can see, you can look around, and it makes it super cool to fly this way. And that only for a very, I would say, small amount of money. Because there are, of course, better solutions which will provide you also the hardware. But keep in mind that those prices are much more expensive, while this works, I would say, in most cases for me. So let's jump to another aircraft, right? We now use the Cessna, but hey, maybe let's see how it works, for example, in, let's say, an A320 or something. So we're here in the A320 from Fenix, right? So let's have a look. I skipped the part where you saw my login screen because I don't want you to see that. And you can see I move around, right? I can look upwards and I can look down. Of course, I likely need to, say, kind of calibrate the camera a little bit more, because you're seeing that I'm sitting a little bit high, and I would like to, say, turn it down. But that's all configurable from within the interface, right? So I can go to the interface, and you can either do it from the opentrack, but as mentioned already, the recommendation is to use this software because you have the beam track software. You can simply go to the settings, and then you can go to the, see, camera option over here. No, sorry, it was the general one. That's where it was. And you can change the trim settings. Now I also scroll further ahead. You can change these values to make it a little bit more easy, or I'd say a little bit more, better. Because currently you can see that, I would say, if I move my head, it works. But likely I want to change it a bit so it is, I would say, looking a little bit lower. So maybe I should recalibrate it. But hey, this is simply a setup or a video. This is simply a video to show you how you can configure it, and you can see, as I would say, it works, pretty nice. Also moving forward and backward works pretty well, and also this makes your life easier because now you don't have to use your mouse to move, around the cockpit. You can simply use your head and your eyes to navigate to the cockpit. Now here ends this video where we had a quick look at how to get the software, how to install it, really easy, and then what the result is. So I hope you liked it. If you liked it, then make sure to hit the like button. If you want to share your experience with the software, also, I'd say feel free to leave a comment in the comment box because I'm also curious about what your experience is with this software. I like it, I must say. I didn't expect this good results for the price, but you can see it works pretty nice. So here ends the video again. Hope to see you back next time.